Good evening, Star City Blood Bowl League coaches, and welcome to the Week 1 recap video where we go over the matches that happened in this round, look at the standings, and then look at the upcoming matches and give our predictions. So we will start off with the Blue Ridge Division. So right now we have the Oath Breakers, which is a Chaos Dwarf team coached by Aaron in first place. We have the Malice Powboys in second. Third is the Northeast Reapers. Fourth is the Southeast Purple Haze. Fifth and sixth is the Nightcrawlers in the Kansas City. And then seventh through 10th is the Death Dodgers, Corned Beef, the Marlin Bay Marauders, and the District Decimators. And looking at this division a little bit, so we had 4 teams that ended up with a win, 2 teams with a draw, and 4 with a loss. So majority of the games resulted in a win or a loss in this first round for the Blue Ridge division. Now we look at the Mill Mountain division. So currently first place is the Thunder Mountain Rampage, a dwarf team. Second place is the Taliban Valley Titans. Third is the Passing Pathogens. Fourth is the Blackwater Prowlers. Fifth is the Black Pyramid Sentinels, and then we have 6th through 10th being the Fuzzy Teeth Fingerlings, Box Art Barons, Salt Life, Midnight Maulers, and the Stinky Skinks. So the entire Mill Mountain division ended up in a all wins or losses result. There were no draws in that first round in that division. So let's just take a look at some of the honors we've got so far. So right now, highest team value team right now is the Passing Pathogens, followed by the Taliban Valley Titans. The Purple Haze, we have the Nightcrawlers, and then Corned Beef. Most famed, we have 2 teams with 6 dedicated fans. That's the Southeast Purple Haze and the Passing Pathogens. Most experienced is mostly our redraft teams right now. So the Purple Haze have accumulated 193 experience in their existence. Taliban Valley Titans at 135, Passing Pathogens at 117. The Kansas Dark Elves at 79, and then our first new team has accumulated 16 star player points thus far. So looking at best performance so far, this is the addition of almost every metric you could think to track. We have the Taliban Valley Titans at 14 points, the Passing Pathogens at 13, the Purple Haze at 11, Corned Beef at 10, and the Nightcrawlers at 10. Most scores right now, we have 3 teams that have scored 3 times in this first round of play. That is the Valley Titans, the Passing Pathogens, and the Southeast Purple Haze. The Oath Breakers and the Prowlers have each scored twice. Looking at best defense, currently there's a 5-way tie, and I won't go through all of those, but we have at least 5 teams and some more that haven't allowed a touchdown so far. Looking at most beast, we have 2 teams that have caused 4 casualties thus far. That's the Taliban Valley Titans and the Passing Pathogens. Looking at most injured, we've got 3 teams that have suffered 4 injuries apiece, so they got beat up a good amount in that first round. That was the Southeast Purple Haze, the Stinky Skinks, and the Midnight Maulers. Most deadly, there's at least 5 deaths. I think we're at 6 deaths or 7. I'll have to go back and look so far on the season. And that'll give us our newest ACCC kind of death chart that we've been tracking for a donation. Most dirty player right now, that is the Nightcrawlers. They've committed 3 fouls as a team. Sent off right now, it's a tie between the Passing Pathogens and the Sentinels. Have each been caught 1 time. And then completions, the Purple Haze lead right now is a team of completions with 3 total thus far. Best stunty team is the District Decimators, and they will likely hold on to that for the remainder of the season. That's pretty much it worth going through so far as teams go. Player-wise right now, most valued player in the league right now is Sneak Scuttle Spike, the gutter runner for the Southeast Purple Haze. Mr. Crowley, the Death Dodgers Werewolf, is at 185K. Ligonius Foot Spike is the Kansas City Dark Elf Blitzer at 170. Influenza with an E-N, maybe that's how it's spelled, is at 165K, and then Flixer Lateral is also at 165K. As far as big guys go right now, there's a 2-way tie between Bradley Deathguard Hawken, the Bloodspawn for Salt Life, and Agogo, which is an Ogre blocker for the District Decimators. Two Stinky Skinks currently lead the most valued stunties right now. I'm not even going to try and guess their names. Ilathura and Krikrozu is my guess. Most experienced, there's two players right now that have accumulated 10 SPP so far. Haggis, the corn gore for corned beef, and Anthrax, the passing pathogen blitzer. Best performance, there's two players right now that have gotten 4 points. It's Albert Rothman and Anthrax. And most score right now is Sneak Scuttle Spike with 3 touchdowns scored on the season. Looking at most beasts, there's currently one player leading the most beast category. That's Albert Rothman, the blitzer for the Taliban Valley Titans, with a total of 4. And is there anything else? Most dirty player right now is King Julian, the Noblar lineman for the District Decimators, who has committed 2 fouls so far this season. And Flick's lateral right now has completed 3 passes so far on the season and leads the league in passing. So, kind of looking at the upcoming matches, we have the Southeast Purple Haze against the Death Dodgers. So this is Underworld against the Necromantic Horror. This game right here, there's going to be a little bit of inducements, I think, on the Purple Hazes. I'm sorry, on the Death Dodgers part. Not very much though, less than 100K. Right now, they have yet to score so far this year. But the Purple Haze have been doing a good job of both playing excellent offense and defense. But also that defensive ability has been matched by the Death Dodgers so far. And the one thing that's the very difference here that might come into play is obviously the resistance of the Death Dodgers is much higher armor-wise than the Purple Haze. One of the things that you'll see here is that the Purple Haze haven't got on the board for dirty playing yet, so they're probably not likely to foul very often. Whereas you can see a number of fouls per game will be committed by the Underworld Denizens, likely by their Snotlings. My guess right here is, let's see, everybody's there? No, they're going to be missing at least a clan rat. So they're going to be down a rat. And then the Death Dodgers have a healthy team. Block, Mighty Blow, block, guard. Okay. Do they have any other ball carriers? Oh, they do have one cool. Okay. So my guess right here is that the Purple Haze are just going to be a little too much for the early going of the Death Dodgers. And I think that this one's going to be probably a 2-0. It might even be a 3-0 for the Purple Haze, depending on how things go. But I don't really think the Purple Haze will struggle because the claws aren't really going to be very effective. They may, get their troll beat up pretty early, but I don't think they really need them to bully around the Death Dodgers too much. The Death Dodgers could maybe get a little hold of a couple players with the Mighty Blow and do some sidestep shenanigans with the block sidestep guard. It'd probably be more of an annoyance, but I'm going to give this one to the Purple Haze. Looking at the next game, which is Corned Beef against the Nightcrawlers. So Corned Beef, let's see what they got. They're missing a Corn Gore, but they got 2 Corn Gores still, so they'll have 2 pretty decent ball carriers. One with dodge 2 heads, so he's dodging on a 2+ in most cases. Rerollable, which is good. That'll give them a lot more mobility than they typically have. Then they have 2 strength 4 block frenzies, 1 strength 4 block. I'm sorry, just Mighty Blow frenzy. And then the rest of the team has its typical frenzy. 2 rerolls, which isn't very many, so they might get into a little bit of trouble. I think they lost a little bit of a heartbreaker against the Underworld Southeast Purple Haze in the last week. New River Nightcrawlers came out pretty strong. They ended with a draw against the redraft Kansas Dark Elf team in a 1-1 draw. Victor Blaze and Don Hyde each have pro. Elizabeth Bathroy with block dodge, and then Serafina Kalita with block. All of them accrued a good amount of SPP, but not quite enough to get an extra skill, so they'll be going in pretty fresh. Total of 12 players, so they do have one lineman. 4 rerolls ready to go. This is kind of a tough one. What do I think will happen here? I think this one's going to come down to if the corned beef can keep haggis in a decent protective position. I think the one thing that's going to be difficult is probably the corn really rely on their strength and blocking ability to get themselves free. And with hypnotic gaze, it will only take a couple hypnotic gaze to be able to bust open a cage. I'm going to say that this one is actually going to go to the night crawlers 1-0, but I could honestly see it going as a draw as well in this instance. But I am going to give this one to the vampires in this round. So that is my prediction there. The Marlin Bay Marauders against the Kansas City Dark Elves. Chaos Chosen, which are missing a Beastman, which they'll get a Journeyman for. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, they're going to get 2 Journeymen. Do they have all their blockers? No, they're missing a blocker. Just 3 blockers. That's sad. That stinks. Okay, so with that, they do have 3 rerolls. Couple block, guard, extra arms, and an Ironheart skin Beastman. Sorry for the laugh. The Kansas Dark Elves are pretty much as healthy as they normally are. They'll be having a couple of journeymen, but they'll just throw those on the line to get killed. So not too worried there. I think this one's going to be really tough for the Chaos Chosen. They don't really have a way to handle all the skills and things quite yet. They don't have any tackle, no wrestle, no way to really bring those players down. So I'm going to give this one to the Kansas Dark Elves. I'm going to say this one is 2-0. It might even be 3-0. It could be a pretty big blowout, in my opinion. So, prediction there. District Decimators against the Malice Powboys. So, Ogres against Orcs. Not the best matchup for Ogres. Actually, it's probably one of the worst they could get. Their team value is still really high. I don't know why. I guess it's probably because they carry a 5th ogre, which may or may not be a good idea. I don't know yet. Part of me thinks that it would almost be beneficial to drop one of these ogres just for more inducement so that you can induce some bigger stars. But they're going to have a total of 5 ogres, 8 Noblar linemen. They did get beat up pretty good against the Chaos Dwarves last round. The Malice Powboys went on to get a victory against the Marlin Bay Marauders. No new skills for them, it looks like. Just 2 rerolls, so they're a little low on rerolls, so that might hurt them a little bit. Still missing a blitzer as well, so they don't have a full roster yet. They still have their biggins. This one might actually be kind of rough for the Orcs if they can't get anything moving. If the Ogres can keep from failing too much bonehead and able to knock down some Orcs and maybe get in like 1 or 2 removals, this one might be something that the Ogres can win. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give this one to the Powboys. I'm going to say it's going to be 1-0 in this matchup right here. So there we go. Northeast Reapers against the Oathbreakers. So looking at the Northeast Reapers, healthy undead team, 2 Mighty Blow Blitzers, 2 block ghouls, block dodge ghouls, a block lineman, and 2 Mighty Blow Regen Mummies. I'm really surprised that this didn't get kick. Guess block is still useful, but I probably would have picked kick. Or dirty player or something to remove players with. 45k against the Oathbreakers. The Oathbreakers are missing Piranha, so that actually hurts them a good bit. Just 2 guard, 3 rerolls. What am I thinking going to happen here? 980 versus 1050, only 70k inducements. Honestly, not enough for anything super crazy good. So, what I think is going to happen here? I think this one's going to go the Reapers. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-0 is my guess. I don't think the Oathbreakers are going to be able to get in there I think they're going to lose a lot of hobgoblins, be stuck with a bunch of dwarves and one bull centaur trying to make something happen and not be able to outdo the strength and mighty blow. The mighty blow is probably not going to be much of a factor, but it might. But I don't think they're going to be able to have the strength. Now they might be able to take out the two ghouls, which makes things harder. Um, but the reapers could just pick up with a white and run in still. So there would need to be quite a bit of removals on their part. Oh, they do get another 40k. So that'll make them 1090 against 980. So they do get 100k. What do you take? What do you take? I would probably look at taking. I think you want an infamous coaching staff. Who would that be, though? Papa Skullbones could be kind of cool. I don't know who Mungo Spinecracker is, so not so useful there. Wizards, you could take Horatio. Horatio may be worth it, but an inaccurate fireball's, kind of just a guess. And let's see, what else could you do? I don't think any of the stars are cheap enough. Bomber. Bomber may be the key right there. That actually may be it. I forget that they can take Bomber Dribble Snot. That's what I would do. I'd take Bomber and use the rest for. I don't know if you really want a keg. I would probably honestly take. I don't know what these Nurglings do, but probably in Team Mascot, maybe a Wog Drummer. The Wog Drummer would help you push the mummies back off the line, and then I would get the Bomber, and I would try and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. I would just try and play Bomber on defense only and just chuck bombs and see if you can blow a cage up, I guess. So I'm going to give it to the Northeast Reapers 2-0, but I do think that Bomber could come into play and do some big things, or be some annoying thing, at least. Looking at the next Mill Mountain division, we have the Blackwater Prowlers against the Talabine Valley Titans. So the Prowlers won their first match, I believe. Yep, 2-0 against Salt Life. Couple block werewolves, mighty blow, guard, guard. Okay, pretty standard stuff. Against the Talabine Valley Titans, which I know have a handful of skilled up players. So tackle, mighty blow, guard, scary, guard, 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 block, block, step, step. 8, 9, 10. They only have 10? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're going to add journeyman. I guess I could start using this little chart, huh? They'll get a journeyman, which will bump them up to 1230 against 1090. So 140k inducements. What do you get? What do you get? Bryce, I don't think that's great. I'm not sure Bryce is worth it. Probably don't need a mercenary. It's going to be tough. I mean, Bryce might be okay, but he might die like immediately too. It's usually what happens with chainsaws. They just end up dying instantly. Is Hellman actually better than Bryce? They both have Stand Firm Pro versus Stand Firm Regen. Well, who the fuck cares about that? I guess Hellman is a little bit better just because of the pro ability. He might be worth taking. The Wog Drummer. Can you take the Wog Drummer? Probably not. Nope, no Wog Drummer. Could take a bribe and just try and foul. Might also be worth it just to start stomping on stuff with zombies. What do I think is going to happen here? I think this is going to go the Valley Titans still. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-0 Valley Titans over the Prowlers. Looking at the next one, Salt Life against the Fuzzy Teeth Fingerlings, Norse and Corn. Both of these teams, I believe, lost their first match. Yes, against Tomb Kings, and Salt Life lost to the Blackwater Prowlers. Pretty healthy, otherwise missing a Corn Gore. So really only one main ball carrier. Couple claws, which are going to be pretty useless against the Norse. I guess they could target this one Ulf. They got something missing next game. But they're going to have a full 11 at 9:55 against the 10:30. So 75K. Oh, they'll get a journeyman. So a little bit more than that. It'll be 120, 30K of inducements for the Fuzzy Teeth Fingerlings. What do you take? I'm pretty sure I would take. I don't think you can afford Creek, but he might have been a good one to take. I'm not liking any of them. Wizards, infamous coaching staff. They pick favorite of. What's the other Norse? Could they have taken Cindy Pie Whistle had they chosen the other version? Maybe so. Couldn't remember. Chaos Undivided. It's going to be an interesting one. I think I'm actually going to give this one to Nick. It's going to be close. I'm going to say it's 1-0. I could see this one ending in a draw as well. I've not seen John play, so I'm not sure his skill level. But I think that the Salt Life can maybe bounce back from their first round and grab a win in this one. So 1-0 Salt Life. Midnight Maulers against the Sentinels. Chosen, which got beat up pretty good. Missing Minotaur, missing Blocker. A couple Beastmen missing. So they're going to get 4 Journeymen. Lord. That is bad. Okay. Against. Okay, they're kind of beat up too, but they're going to get a couple Journeymen. 3 Journeyman Skeletons. So you're going to go up 120, which will put them at 1100, and the Maulers will go up 200K, right? Yeah, 200. So the Maulers will get 200K inducements. I think. As long as I'm doing my math right here. 200K inducements. Glart. I would take, oh man, 210. So close. I would take Glart. I would want the grab claws block. Strength 4. And then I'd use him to blitz the hell out of some Tomb Kings and stuff. And try and use claws to remove some of these Tomb Guardians. That's what I would do. So I'd probably take Glart. Who do I think is going to win this? I'm going to give this one to the Tomb Kings. I'm going to say it's going to be 2-0 Tomb Kings over the Maulers. 2 games left. Rampage against the Passing Pathogens. This will be a good one. So the Dwarves, which are healthy, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, they do going to have Journeymen. Linemen. And just 2 rerolls, which is a little low, against Passing Pathogens are at 1275, so one of the highest team value teams. No Rat Ogre, which doesn't make this team very scary. Not a lot of block. Really, they're relying on 3 players to do all the work. Does have block, but he doesn't have tackle on Avery Flew. Block dodge here, so this could get tackled down. Block here, but no no dodge. Just one other gutter runner. 3 rerolls, 95K. So they got some money. The question is, what is the Mountain Rampage going to do with their money? So 1050 and then 70K for a lineman. Is that what it is? So they're at 1120. 1120 against 1275. 155K? Plus or minus my math. What do you do with 155K? Well, I guess the easy one is probably a wizard. A hireling sports wizard. What else could you do for 150K? Cindy Pie Whistle. Oh man, you got to take Cindy Pie Whistle and a bribe. It would be dumb not to take Cindy Pie Whistle and a bribe. Right? I can't think of any other better player to take for that cost. Cindy Pie Whistle and a bribe's what the dwarves need. Take Cindy Pie Whistle, play her on defense, bomb the shit out of these guys. Actually, you could play her twice. But if you could play her on defense, it would help save her. And just bomb the hell out of these guys. And you'll be removing them like crazy, I bet. All right, so with that, what do I think will happen? I think this is going to be a draw. I think it's going to be one for the Rampage, one for the Pathogens, and I think Cindy Pie Whistle, if she comes along, will just bomb the hell out of them and goes in. I think without Cindy, this match is going to be tough for the Rampage if they're not getting the removals because there's a really deep bench. You're not going to be able to get enough down to have the numbers, so moving around is going to be a little difficult. So I think you need to really take out a drove of Skaven to be able to create some holes in the defense. So, like I said, 1-1's my guess with a draw. That is my prediction. All right, now last but not least, the Stinky Skinks against the Box Art Barons. Both teams got pretty beat up last time. 3-0 against the Titans, missing a couple Skinks, so there'll be a couple Journeyman Skinks that will play. Still don't have a full range of Saurus because they elected to have the Croxagore, which I'm not sure I agree with, but it's all about fun, right? And then, so 870. I didn't even look. 870, they need 1, 2, 3 Journeymen. They're 60K apiece, so 180. Math, 30. 1150. 865. They need 2 Journeymen, which is 90. So it looks like the Imperials are going to get the inducements. Missing a bodyguard, missing a blitzer. That's rough. What do I think will happen here? This is going to be a tough one. 45K, still no apothecary. Cindy Pie Whistle. Telling you, you got to bring Cindy every time. It's either Cindy or Bomber. If you're not bringing them, you're not playing as hard as you could. That's all I got to say. I'd probably bring Cindy. There's no reason not to bring Cindy. And then if you had enough money, you could maybe get a Horatio or an inaccurate wizard. It's probably what I'd do. Who do I think will win this? I think that the Stinky Skinks are coached by a pretty new coach, so that's obviously a disadvantage for right now. And Gerard is a pretty practiced coach on Fumble, so I'm actually going to give this one to the Imperial Nobility. I'm saying it's going to be 2-1 in this matchup here with the Box Art Barons winning this match. So I think that's it for all the games we have coming up in round 2. Please make sure to schedule your games. It looks like most of you have done so. The round ends April 1st. Also, I guess for those of you that are playing Big Lick Brawl, if you're wanting any kind of practice games or anything like that, there should be a bunch of us coaches available now that Splendid Cup is over to get some Big Lick practices in for you guys. So, that being said, I guess just let me know if you guys need anything from me. Have a great round 2, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.